I think you hit a lot of great points with that. And honestly, the funny thing is because this subject was on my mind, man, and it's been on my mind for a few days, because this is something I personally struggle with, because it's one of those things where, you know, you see somebody that's in a position where you want to be, and it's like, man, you know, so many things run through your mind, like what is it like to be there? Why am I not there yet? Am I not doing something right? Is this for me? Is so many things that run through your mind, and when you think about it, it can throw you off. It can throw you off of your game mentally. But you know, like you said, man, you have to remind yourself that the biggest thing is it's a process, and a lot of times, you know, sometimes there's also luck involved, and that's not always the case. I mean, but you know, things happen. You know, sometimes they didn't, you know, they weren't up till 3 a.m. With everything around, or they didn't build an algorithm or something. They could have just won the lottery, or you know, a relative could have passed and you know, left them. They had some good insurance, but regardless of the situation, even with social media the way things are today, don't compare your situation to others, because what's meant for you is for you, and time is, I think, as long as you focus on preparing for what you want and learning how to maintain it, don't let the time bother you as much as it potentially could. Because a lot of times what you don't want is to be striving for something, and then you finally do make it to that point where you get what you want, but you know, you might struggle with maintaining it. You might struggle with you know, staying in the place that you were fighting to get to. And a lot of times, you know, another thing I like that you pointed out, Steve, is you don't know. You see where people are and what people have and what they're doing, but you don't know what they did to get it. And you don't know what they're still doing to keep it. So sometimes it's a situation where, you know, you might ask for something that you really want, and you might not get it because it just might not be meant for you. Like it could be a situation where, you know, you could have a crush on somebody, and you could be like, man, they are so fine, and man, if they would give me the time of day. But if you would talk to one of their exes, you know, or the right people, you'd be like, you know what? I mean, they look good on the outside, but from the inside point of view, it's not everything is cracked up to be. So it could be a ton of different reasons, but don't worry about where you are versus where someone else is. And I'm gonna be honest, man, it's hard for me to say that, because even as I sit across the table from my brother, we have conversations all the time, because, you know, there's some goals and milestones that I'm trying to reach right now, and it seems like I'm playing catch up. But the biggest thing is, I tell myself, is it's not a race and it's not a competition. I just like to surround myself with people who are beyond where I am, because that motivates me to climb and reach up to their level. And this is something that I struggle with, but you know what? It's just to take my own advice. It's not a race, and it's okay not to be okay sometimes, because, you know, you might not have something yet, because as much as you want it, the drive might be there, the determination might be there, but you just might not be prepared for it. And it's not the point that I'm trying to get to is, just because you might not be where you want to be, and you might not reach a certain goal that you're trying to reach, it doesn't mean that just because someone who is in that position, who might have got there before you, they probably were, maybe they were more prepared for it, or whatever the case may be. But it's okay. Just take the time while you have it, you know, learn as much as you can, And before you get into certain things, just do as much research as you can, because it's a lot of situations that I got into that, sometimes you don't really think about things until you get into it. Like it could be a car. You might, work and, get to the point where you can get your dream car. And it's so funny because when I think about my dream car, I learned things about it, and it's the things that you don't think about that can catch you off guard, because you think about what you want and how you want it to be, but you also have to keep in consideration the maintenance and the process, because in honesty, when you really think about it, getting what you want, getting the success, whatever it may be, with goal or milestone, whatever, getting it is the easy part, but the maintaining it, that's where the real work comes in. Even if we're talking marriage, it's not hard to get married. It might, take you a little bit of time to find someone if that's something that you want out of your life, but it's a lot of work. And a lot of people, they think about the end result, but they think about the destination, but they lose track of the journey. And the journey is more important than the destination, as crazy as that sounds, because the journey is going to set you up for the destination. And
but just to interrupt you for a second, Solo, man, my grandmother used to always tell me, no matter what journey you're on, no matter what you're trying to do, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you have to pray.
Yes.
We take on journeys ourselves, we pack our bag and we prepare for the trip. It's trip, and I'm just comparing it. It's life's journey.
Yeah.
And we say what we want. We seek these things. We try to get these things accomplished. But if it's not, at the end of the day, if it's not in your plan, you're just wasting your time.
That is so true.
Really, that's why you also have to be spiritually connected, so that you're not chasing your tail. You pray about some things, and I don't care what it is you're trying to accomplish, whether it's a particular job or whether it's you're starting a business, whether it's marriage, whether it just doesn't matter, anything in life. I think you still have to me, and this is just again my opinion, and I don't push religion on anybody, but you have to have a prayer life. You really have to have a relationship with God, and He'll guide you. He'll guide you. And that relationship to me will actually keep you from bumping your head a few times.
Yes.
Because they always say, if you want to make God laugh, give him your plans. Right. Tell him what your blueprints are, and he'll look at you like, okay, no problem. I see what you're trying to do. I got it. Yep. But you might want to listen to me, because if not, you're just gonna waste a bunch of time. And that's what we do a lot of times. So again, that just wanted to throw that in, man. Didn't mean to interrupt you, man, but go ahead and continue your flow, bro.
Oh no, you're good, and that's actually a great point, because and like you said, everybody isn't religious. Even if you're not religious, just be connected to a higher purpose, a higher train of thought than yours, a higher being than yours, because that's so important. Because I wake up in the morning, and one of the first things I do is I pray, and it's almost like to me, it's like a meditation / therapy session in a way. And I can sit and I can, it's, even though somebody's not physically sitting, across from me, listening to me, I know that my voice is being heard, and things are happening in my life that confirm that, the things that I pray about. It's like, okay, well, yeah, here's confirmation on that. This is a green light, that's a red light, whatever the case may be. And that's a very good point about that. And it's definitely, it ties in with the process, because on your journey, you want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to have a successful trip, and you want to enjoy it as well. I mean, you know, because there's so much beauty in going places and just learning new things overall. Talking to new people, having new experiences, doing things different, stepping outside of your box, because oftentimes, especially if you want something that's worth having, it's not going to come easy. There's going to be sacrifice associated with it. There's going to be, you know, sleepless nights. There's going to be times where you might want to, you probably had a long day and you just want to come home and kick your feet up and relax. But it's like, you know, you got to get some things done, and you have to push your wants to the side in favor of your needs. So, you know, definitely make sure that everything is connected as possible, including yourself and your mind and, you know, your spirit. So, you know, like Steve said, you won't be chasing your tail, because one of the worst things you could do is just come up with an idea and just go after it without a plan. And, you know, you wind up in a situation where you're just wasting your time. It's like, you know, if you go to the gym and you know that you want to build muscle and work out and build your core, but you're running on a treadmill. So it's things that you just want to, overall, my point is, make sure that you're in tune with yourself. Make sure that you're in tune with your faith, and prepare for what you want. Make a plan, do a vision board, write out your goals. You know, anytime you feel down, just use something to motivate yourself to keep going even when you don't feel like it, because that can be a thing too. I know some days I wake up and I could have a ton of things to do, and my mind, it's like, you know what, I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to freaking sit around and just watch grass grow. But things have to be done, and you know, you definitely want to stay as motivated as possible with everything. And, you know, also another thing is, you know, building a team. That, depending on what you're trying to do, you might have people, you know, who can help you, and definitely reach out and to your network and network with people, because you never know. You could be trying to do something and somebody, you know, you might hit a roadblock, and, you know, somebody that, you know, if they don't know how to help you directly, then they might be able to say, hey, well, you know, I'm not sure how to handle this, but, you know, I know somebody, or I know somebody who knows somebody. So another key thing is your network. Make sure that, you know, you reach out to people. And even if it's not for, you know, it doesn't always have to be business. It can be personal, because, you know, relationships, it's a part, to me, it's like an ingredient to the cake that makes success, whatever that may look like to you. Because, you know, for some people it could be financial, for some people it could be family, you know, just having a family, you know, and doing things with them whenever you get time outside of your work schedule. So whatever success means for you, definitely make sure that you not only have the tools that you need, but you're making use of them as well, because you never know. And a lot of people, I don't think that they realize how big their net worth is, because they don't network. And it's one thing my mother always tells me. She always reminds me, you know, your network is your net worth. And it really is when you think about it, you know, you never know what someone else may know. And you could learn information that might not necessarily directly affect you, but you could also be an asset to someone else. You know, that's always the case too, because, you know, my goal when I interact with somebody, even on this podcast, is for the people that are listening, is how can I be an asset to someone else? Also as well, because we're here to help each other. Life is not something that you can do alone. It definitely takes, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a world to survive. And that's really, I think that's what some of the things that's most important when you're on track to, trying to reach goals or make things happen for yourself.